Hey, what's going on, Chester? Probably won't get a lot of people in here since the drone craze is over, but I've been seeing some questionable things up here. Not much good to see. Yeah, I've been busy with work, and the sickness hit the family and stuff like that. Hey, Joey, how's the drone? Honestly, I saw something before I was in the area. I got up here, I tried to go live, and then but there's really been, the drone stuff has died down, and I think a lot of the stuff people were seeing were planes, but I did see something questionable. It was like a orange light, and then of course by the time I go live it's gone. So but there's definitely been some odd things in the sky. I just really haven't had time to get out. So hey, Ronnie. But yeah, I figured I'd like to say thanks for sticking around and coming in. I had a lot of subscribers that bounced, which is understandable because I've been inactive. But yeah, I figured I'd come on for a little bit, say hello. And I did see something before. The cloud cover is kind of low because we're expecting a storm tonight. So, hey Andy, how you doing? Crowdsourced, how you doing? I need some moderators in here, so I'm going to start adding some people here that I've recognized that have been sticking around. But yeah, there really hasn't been much with the drones. It really died out, but there's definitely been some questionable things. I saw a video of one that was not too far from here that was like dropping. It almost looked like magnesium. It was a weird video. I wasn't really sure what to make of it. I don't know if I'm still connected or not. I lost the chat. But yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be ice tonight. There's something coming over the hill now, but that might be a plane. But yeah, I think there's definitely was something going on here pretty heavy when we were out in December. Man, was it November or December? Is the video on your page? No, I couldn't get the video because it was an older woman that I see a lot of action on Facebook. Yeah, there's been some friends of mine who live at the one reservoir that said there was some stuff going on, but again, I haven't been able to get out. There's one that just came up, but it's hard to tell what's a plane and what's not because plane traffic is pretty heavy. Yeah, I'm near Hunterdon County now, but it's more in the, there it is. I don't know if you could see it, but it's more in the center of Hunterdon County. There's another one over there, but again, it might be a plane. But there was a point where people were very strange fog. Yeah, there was definitely fog, but we had fog as well, but I didn't suspect anything different. But yeah, the fog thing was weird. I don't really have any input on that. But how's everybody doing? Holidays, New Year's, how'd everybody do? Hope everyone's staying healthy and staying away from the flu and RSV and whatever else is going around. It's been pretty It's been pretty going around pretty hard around here. There was one that I saw. I'm gonna step out of the car here. Oh, here comes something. It might be a plane. Sounds like a helicopter. I might be wrong though. Pretty sure I hear it. But we do have a lot of air traffic that comes into Newark through here. My son and I have been sick all week. Yeah, I was lucky enough not to get sick. I may have gotten sick and didn't realize it, but I've been pretty... That's a helicopter. I can hear it. Yeah, it's 100% a helicopter, but it's pretty low. Wonder if they're coming for me. I think it's a helicopter. Sounds like it. Do you buy Trump's explanation? Nah, he was... That's a helicopter. I don't buy it. Man, it's light's right on me. It'd be crazy if a black helicopter landed in the field, huh? I don't buy what Trump said. You know, yeah, it's a helicopter. For a while, no one knew what they were. And, wow. Yeah, it's definitely a helicopter. I can hear the blades chopping. Sorry, I'm getting off track. ADD moment. Trump was all about it. The FFA didn't know there were drones flying over military installations, and nobody had any idea what they were. So you're telling me that they lied? I don't know. Hey, yeah, Pickle Road's somewhere around here. Still wasn't able to find that. But yeah, I'm not buying it. There was definitely something going on. If it was training or whatever, but it was definitely interesting, and it's kind of piqued my interest about the unknown again. But everyone's going slow. Like, what the hell is this guy doing? But yeah, I figured I'd come live and just say hello and let everyone know I'm still around. I'm not really sure where to go. I'm into radio stuff and ADSB airplane stuff. So, what was pretty crazy was that the helicopter and plane accident down in DC. That was pretty tragic. I was reading a book. Actually, I made a post in the community about a facility. I haven't finished reading the book yet. It was called Raven Rock is the facility, and it's like they call it the underground pentagram, the little Pentagon. And this book actually goes into what that training mission was that they were doing, continuance of government. It goes back to the Cold War days when those helicopters would, well, I guess they still do it now. They fly in and they take out the VIPs and take them to their specific spots if there's ever a disaster, an emergency. It actually, I think the last time it was practiced was in 9/11. So yeah, if you look up continuance of government, it's pretty, it's out there, so it's not really too secret. The Pats, yeah. So the book's actually pretty good. I just haven't been able to finish it due to time. I usually read at night. I've been trying to read at night and stay off social media. But yeah, it talks about continuance of government and back in, what is that? World War II. That's pretty interesting. Or the Cold War. Man, I wish this camera was better. It's like it gets all blurry. You can't even see nothing. There's something over there just kind of hovering. Or it's going away from me and I can't tell. But anyway, to continue what I was talking about. They built underground bunkers, stuff like that. Virginia says hi. Hey, Virginia. Or I guess Jay. What part of Virginia? I have family down that way in the area. Well, I'll just say in Virginia. I wish the chat would stay up longer. It's kind of a pain. I don't know how to make it stay up. Top chat, live chat. There we go. Sorry if I'm not answering. The chat is very short in the horizontal. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting read about how we spent so much money on underground bunkers under mountains and stuff. Goes into NORAD, how AT&T was a big part of the communications plan if there was ever a nuclear attack, and they made EMP-proof communications and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And it's not really conspiracy theory because it's all documents that... Good seeing you posting. Be safe. Gotta run. All right, take care, Andy. Trying to figure out how to make you... I've seen you around and... But yeah, I get sidetracked easily. Going to be honest, I can't remember the name of that suggested road. Ooh. Pickle? I don't remember. It's around here somewhere. But yeah, I saw some stuff before, but it's since then gone. But I figured I would jump on here for a little bit, say hello. Underground facilities where I live. There's a ton of caves. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's one. Raven Rock is in Pennsylvania, right north of the border of Maryland. There's also, I can't remember. I think it's Mount Weather. That's another one. What was that? There we go. Sorry, phone call came through. I should have put it on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, there were all kinds of stuff throughout the country that were built and other contingency plans for other three-letter agencies to be stationed at if there ever were a nuclear attack in the Cold War. And no, I got a phone call. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. But there were a lot of the plans only were for the VIPs, the important people, for continuance in government, and they didn't really. Basically, if you had a family, a wife and kids, or a husband and kids, they were not part of that contingency plan for continuance of government, and a lot of people basically were. I found a fallout shelter here in Indiana. I posted a pic of my community. I'll check it out. But yeah, a lot of people said if there was anything were to happen, they were not they weren't going to go to these facilities because, you know, their family would be left behind. But it's kind of crazy that they, the people that create the, create this madness get to hide, and we all get to kind of sit outside and suffer to whatever else happens. It's, you know, the guys that create it get to go and hide. But just my point of view. You know, I know continuance of government's important, but I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. I think it's a lot of plane traffic, but about a week after your stream with the green bluish flash of power, we had drones shut down. Yeah, there was a lot of that, and that's what's on that, you know, Trump and FFA or the FAA were, you know, they were allowed, but like at the time they were saying they weren't, so it's conflicting to me, you know, what was really going on. So I don't know, just very odd how it just kind of died out. It was all out hysteria. That New Jersey congressman or senator was talking about a mothership from Iran, and It got a little wild there. But yeah, I'll have to check out that book, Raven Rock. It's kind of a long read. It's a lot of information. Jeez, a lot of information at once, but it's definitely got some interesting things in there. Uh-oh. What was that? I think I'm hearing geese. How's everybody doing? Anybody else see any drones or anything unusual? Let's see. Many share your points of view. That's the point. Since I'll be dead. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't have any money to build myself a bunker. I'll have to find a cave somewhere. There was a lot of talk about these things being underwater and whatever they were. Like I said, I don't have any confirmation that they were drones. With that one, I don't know if you guys were around when Tim was with me. We saw that one. Nothing going on in my part. Yeah, Tim was with me, and we saw that one over the reservoir, and that was the weirdest thing. And when I went out with Mrs. Money, those two, those two orbs or lights they kind of combined. It was weird. Hey, it's been a while. Good to see you guys. Thanks, Justine. Yeah, there's some stuff off here in the distance that are kind of popping up. But again, they could be planes. I don't have ADS-B up. Come on. I watched the drone in the reservoir several weeks. They were super active. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I was trying to make sense of those two lights that kind of combined. Maybe one had turned. You need a bunker on wheels. That's you, man. I don't have that. If I build a bunker, it's going to be underground. How you doing, Dave? Just going live. Saw something weird as I was in the area, and then it disappeared, so it's probably nothing, but I figured I'd go live and say hello. Justine. 20 people. Well, I appreciate everyone sticking around and staying subscribed and whatnot. I think I'm hearing coyotes. I'm hearing some like... No, those are geese. And the bird flu. Stay away from me. Not me, man. I don't know. I don't have any explanation about what that was, but it might have been a plane that was... One might have been farther off than the other, and it turned, and then the light came out. I don't know. I don't have any explanation for any of it. That's a plane. A lot of... I don't know what that is. Sorry, I'm just looking out here. I'm pretty sure it's a plane. I'm just waiting for someone to stop again. Let's see if I can see the chat. We need Dave needs to come out with his bunker on wheels. I know Flight Radar doesn't list all the flights. Sometimes they'll grab ADS-B and they'll show traffic. Yeah, some of the stuff so how some of this ADS-B stuff works is it's a network of people. So I don't have one, but Tim does. You can get hardware that these planes beacon ADS-B, most of them, and you can get hardware to receive those signals and then backfeed it into the internet, which goes to these apps. Sometimes you have to look at different applications, like Flight Radar 24 is a pretty good one, but there's also ADS-B Exchange that may have some more information. But if these flights are below a certain level, you know, hundreds of feet or 200 feet, sometimes that the signal isn't getting into the receiver and beaconing. So sometimes you'll see planes that just pop up out of nowhere. That's because they're in a null area, or they're not beaconing, or they turn their transmitter on. But like I saw some flights going down into some military flights actually going down into Mexico, which I thought was pretty interesting considering what's happening with deportation and everything being ramped up down at the border. I don't want to get into politics, but I've never seen a military flight down inside of Mexico that I've seen anyway. There was a Poseidon P8 near the, where was it? Baja, down that south of California. And those things they detect signals. So, you know, radio signals, they'll collect intelligence that way. So maybe they're scoping some things out and collecting data for whatever they're getting ready to do down there. It doesn't seem like it's not going to be an easy thing for the border stuff that's going on, which is a little scary. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like Mexico flying around, but I've never seen the United States military, Air Force, Coast Guard, or anything flying. And I watch the ADS-B pretty frequently when I'm just hanging out. I usually have it up and running at work when I'm just kind of messing around. But yeah, I saw the if you look up Poseidon P8, you'll be able to find some more information on that. And then the one was a Coast Guard C-130. So they might have been transporting people back to something or other. I don't know. We don't know what they were doing. It could have been nothing. Who knows? I wish this chat would just stay where it was. Yeah. Poseidon P8. Yeah, that's a pretty neat aircraft. I believe the Air Force runs those. You can also look up the Night Watch, I believe it is. That's one of the planes, like, I think for years they would always have one in the sky during the Cold War, or they would always have one ready to take off. There's two planes right there that are super close. Wow. I don't think you can see them. They like cross paths. That was pretty wild. But one might be far off and the other one might be close, or the other one might be high up. That looks unusual. There's the one blinking might be a plane, but there's another one that just disappeared. But it may have turned. I don't know. Can't really see. The Night Watch, they call it the Doomsday plane. So what it is, it's basically strategic command of some sort for the military in case there's some type of emergency. Like the Cold War, there was always one in the sky. Like it was in the air. If one wasn't in the air, there was one landing, refueling. I think they had quite a few of those planes, and they would always have one in the sky with some high-ranking military official that could command with their own, they call it a football, which was the nuclear codes, in case things were to happen. Good evening for now. But I think they were in the sky for 30 years. Like there was always one in the sky. I mean, imagine how much money that costs to have a big plane like that in the sky 24 hours a day over certain areas of the sky. I don't really know where they would go, but there was, I think, in the Midwest somewhere, or man, there's all kinds of stuff over there. I'm bad at recalling data, but they would always have one in the sky circling somewhere in Central America, in the center of America somewhere, just in case, so they could launch their stuff or have a counterattack if there were ever any like nuclear exchange between us and Russia. You see them in the sky every now and then on ADSB. If you go to ADSB Exchange, and you look at the top right corner once everything loads, there's an icon that says U. It's just a letter U, and those are all the military aircraft that are... That was another phone call. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Whiteman Air Force Base. I'm not sure. That sounds about right. I'm not... Can you guys hear me, first of all? Okay. I was never I'm not prior military or anything. I just have an interest in aviation and stuff and things like that. But what was I saying? Just making sure this car doesn't blast me. But yeah, they would always have a plane in the sky just in case there was any type of nuclear exchange in the Cold War. And I'm sure there's probably, since tensions are high now throughout the world, I'm sure they have some kind of communication. But back then we didn't have satellites and AT&T was in charge of communications in case things went wrong. There was actually down in Virginia, I don't know if the fellow or woman that was here in the chat, it was north of Charlottesville. It was a bunker that AT&T had made, and they built these EMP-proof communication towers to get communications and comms in and out of DC out to major cities. Pretty interesting. I think back in like the 50s or 60s, the government wanted to step in and break AT&T up, but they were, I don't know the word you would say, but they were like solely responsible for they were part of continuance of government with communications. Like if you don't have any comms for government, you're not getting anything done. That's a plane. But yeah, not much going on anymore. I'm still trying to decide what to do with this channel. Like I have a lot of interest in radio and in airplanes, but also things like this, and aviation has been kind of crazy lately with the accident in Philly and the one in DC. Terrible. But I appreciate everyone sticking around, even if it's one person watching. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. But yeah, Raven Rock. If you type in Raven Rock in Amazon, there's a book. I actually emailed the author of it to talk about the continuance of government comment that was made on TV, where basically, I forget, was it the SecDef, was talking about a drill, and it sounded like he slipped up and was saying continuance of government. I don't think he meant to say that, but it slipped up. And then Trump came on in the conference, and two reporters asked about the continuance of government exercises, and he acted like he wasn't sure what they were, but I'm pretty sure the chief and commander would know about that. Parliament is supposed to make a big impact in the nation. Announcement next week that is supposed to do something with UAPs. Continuity of government. Yep. It's a real thing. You can Google it and FEMA documents will come up. So it's not something that's super secret. I just don't think a lot of people know about it. I'm not sure who Rep Paulina Luna is. I'm not like super good with names. I'm better with faces. But if stuff like that interests you guys, or you all, I'd definitely like to talk about Rep for Florida. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. There's been a lot of talk about it. There was one guy, he was a pilot, an Apache, or maybe he was a Black Hawk pilot that, I forget, it was News Nation, one of those, continues to go is far more complicated and impactful than people. Yeah, for sure. But there was a guy, I don't know the name of the news outlet, they did like a little like 40-minute documentary about that he's recovered crashed UAPs, and he said it was like the shape of an egg. He recovered it. He was a pilot, an Apache pilot, or a Black Hawk pilot that did work for one of those agencies, and he was out at the range. I'm assuming Area 51, but he did supposedly did some stuff. What is that? And there was a documentary on that. I'm not really too sure. And then at the end of the documentary, it was like it was like almost a commercial for his little business called Skywatch. I'm not saying he didn't see anything, but I don't know. It was definitely weird. I definitely watched it though. We're also in News Nation. Yeah, News Nation. Yep. That was a pretty interesting little documentary. I mean, it gets you thinking, like what's going on, and I got to see pictures. I got to see it for myself. But I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying he is or he isn't. It was just kind of interesting. AKT, thank you for keeping this going. Hey Tina, yeah, there's not really much going on. I did see an orange light in the sky. I was in the area. I was trying to chase it down. It was moving a little bit too quick for me. And then by the time I got up here, it was no longer in sight. Jake Barber was the pilot. Yeah, I don't remember his name. I got to write this stuff down and like have talking points before I come on here. But it's definitely interesting. I'm hoping apparently he was sick from whatever, he transported a crate, and some of his people and them got sick or were hospitalized. Jake Barber, yeah. So, but lately there's been a podcast that has been putting out Art Bell's old shows, and I've been kind of listening in onto some of those. I've been seeing a lot of drones here in York, PA. Oh, York, really? I'm like 2-3 hours from York. But yeah, I can't say if these are planes or not, but they're looking more like it. He was the master of late night radio. Yeah, I mean, my mom would listen to Art Bell, and some of the stuff he would talk about, was out there. And there was someone who gave me some hell for mentioning him and saying he was a con, but it was very entertaining. And, I would listen in here and there. But some of the stuff he talked about in 2002 that I was listening to, it's called, I took videos, they were not planes. Okay. I'd like to see those. But, gotta run, picking up, carry out for dinner. All right, take care. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. But Art Bell was talking about things, and they're pretty relevant today. He had some good points of view. And do I think some of the stuff was maybe a little dramatized? I believe so. Just listening to some of it. I don't know if you guys heard the call-ins from Area 51, but and there's this one, I don't know, kind of revisiting some of his old shows and listening, and he was, the one guy he called in that he was being chased down by whoever, Just takes me back, but I'll listen to them here and now just for let me know where to send them to. I don't really have a email or anything set up, but you can drop a link in one of the was a paid agent, just my opinion. I don't know, possibly. You can drop a link in the last community post and check out that book. I highly recommend it, Raven Rock. You can get it in audio form. You can get it on conspiracy theorist. I don't know, entertain everything. You just never know. There was a book I was reading. It's called man, my short-term memory is terrible. Nuking the moon and all the crazy ideas that the government has come up with that were they were thought about and talked about but never followed through. Just some of the crazy ideas they had, like nuclear planes, like flying nuclear planes, and from that to other plans that they wanted to do. But I'll put that in the communities post too. I've been reading a lot, so pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything out of the normal. Just a lot of I think they're planes. I'm assuming they're planes, but I'll give you a look. I'm pretty sure they're planes coming in out of Newark or taking off out of Newark. But any other podcasts or radio shows you guys listen to? Yeah, maybe I'll do a vertical. Casper's. What's that, Justine? On YouTube. Okay, Jasper site. I'm listening to telepathy tapes. So interesting. Huh. Telepathy. What is that on telepathy tapes? A lot of the times I'll listen to I've been listening Casper's. I'll check them out. I've been listening to Art Bell stuff at night and falling asleep, so I'll get halfway through it and pass out, and I wake up and there's somebody talking about something crazy and I have to turn it off and try to go back to sleep. Huh. British guy who shows videos of the latest crazy UAPs and ghosts. Vetted another fun channel on YouTube. I'll have to go back and catch these replies on the replay and write the stuff down, but there's definitely some stuff. Wow, that's bright and low. Could be a plane or a helicopter. We did have a helicopter pass by probably about 20 minutes ago. Whoa. Thought about applying for the press pass at the White House just for fun to see if I could get in there. I do live into tape. There's people even on drones. Sorry, God, it keeps disappearing. I do live intuitive tap art readings. Okay, that's cool. It disappeared now. It might have been a helicopter, or it might be going beyond the ridge. I don't know. It's gone now. I don't see it. There's these string of lights that are kind of odd. There's 3. They kind of seem to be floating there, but they might be coming towards me. They're probably planes. Considering we have a storm coming in, the visibility is pretty good. Truth and Focus. Peter Osborne takes software programs and then zooms in on orbs and photos. Amazing how deep he can focus. I'll check that out. Live at 8:30. I don't even know what time it is. 7. I gotta go start making my way back home. That one's gone. No, it turned. So those are probably, I'm assuming those are planes coming out of the New York area, getting to altitude and then turning, because I can see the one that was just there blinking. I don't know. When I zoom in, it looks like a plasma orb. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these plasma orbs, you know, I can, well, this is terrible, but, you know, I can call that a plasma orb. But I think a lot of it's misfocused photo equipment, to be honest. Well, I'll check it out, Tina. Oh, there's another one. When I was able to go out with my buddy with the camera equipment and the thermal vision, a lot of the stuff that I was seeing was planes. So those photos are in the community tab. We had a 100 to 400 zoom. I think it was a 100 to 400 on a IR converted camera. It was able to see a lot, actually, and we had somebody say they had a bunch of drones over their house, but oh, someone's stopping. I don't know who that is. How's it going?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I appreciate you stopping. Thank you. Some nice people up here. I am in New Jersey, but there are some friendly people. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, the camera equipment. No, I'm like probably an hour and a half from Newark. Nah, maybe like an hour and 15. So these, like, you'll be surprised how far you can see air traffic. Some of these planes might be 40 miles out still. I don't know what the air mileage is, but most of this air traffic's going into Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. Some of the high altitude stuff is, I'm in South Newark. Yeah, I'm not really close to Newark. I'm in the Hunterdon County area. But when I fly, I go to Newark. Back view of the drone is South Newark. Carlos. I'll check that out, Carlos. What did you see? Was it like lower? Like some of the stuff that I've seen, it's been hard to see because it's so dark out here. I got it really close to one, I think it was back in December, and looking at the ADS-B, there's 3 planes north of Newark, but they're traveling in different directions. Yeah, ADS-B is a pretty good site. I kind of jump back and forth between ADS-B Exchange and Flight Radar 24. That one's interesting, but it's probably a plane. I'm just assuming everything's a plane. You'll be surprised. Okay. Nothing's been super low. Except that one, but I don't know which way that's going. It's hard to tell how big these things are at night. Depth perception is way off. A friend of mine who, that's got to be going into Newark, I would assume. I don't know. That one's different. very loud. The one we heard, had like this low pitch this low pitch hum. I see Method Man on your channel, Carlos. No drones. Method Man. Man, he just got arrested recently, I think, for beating somebody up at the gym. I read that. I think it had to do with a daughter's like ex or something, possibly. No judgment here. No judgment here. They might have taken it down. It's up on my channel. Yeah, low pitch. It sounded different, what we sounded. You know, maybe because we were in kind of like a valley, maybe the sound was not making it down to us, but we were pretty damn close. And Tim is pretty straightforward about BS. Email. I don't really have an email set up with this. I'll have to try and make one and put one into the description of the channel. Although I don't really click on things from people. No offense, but I'm pretty worried about viruses and stuff. But my video views was climbing, then it just stopped. Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I don't think anybody was really live streaming the drones. And I mean, we had put it on X. Yeah, put it on X. My brother's girlfriend didn't believe until she actually saw it. Yeah, Tim didn't believe it either, and we saw that one. We didn't see anything all night, and then we saw that one over the reservoir. See, there's two that are way off, but that could be two planes or something next to each other. One might be closer than the other. It's just hard to tell because it's very far. I don't know. But everyone's looking up now since... Yeah, one's probably off in the distance. The one on the bottom looks like it's farther away. And the one that's rising on the... It's just so hard to tell at night. And that one just disappeared. But it might have turned and went to and they might have gave him a different vector. What I should do, I need to get my scanner. You can actually listen to air traffic as they go by. You got to have a scanner that'll get the airband frequencies, and you can hear these pilots talking to air traffic control, but you can't hear air traffic control, but you can hear the pilots talking. There's another spot I can go to that's on private land that has a better view to the east. But you can also go, I think it's atc.com, where you can hear that. You have to have a scanner that's receiving. But if you type in air traffic control radio communications, it'll take you to a site. And you can, depending if the airport has a feed, you can listen to Newark, you can listen to JFK, and you can listen to whatever airports are live. You can even listen to some of the Air Force Base stuff, depending on what they're talking about. Those are planes, I'm assuming. I guess we'll find out. I have an old scanner. It's really old. I wonder if it would pick it up. I forget the frequency. It's like 120 megahertz up to... If you Google it, it'll give you the frequencies. I have a Uniden. I think it's a 436. It's a handheld. It's powered by AA's. And you can program it to, well, you could just load up the files and it'll scan rapidly and then stop on whatever it hears, so you can get your local, unless they've gone to encryption. A minute, mine's a Uniden handheld. Yeah, so a lot of the municipalities and EMS stuff have gone to either P25 or encryption. You can't get, if it's encrypted, it's illegal, and you don't, and the scanners won't unencrypt. But in this area, they're still using FM. This is crazy how far out you can see. I'm assuming this plane, like, I can see how people would freak out and think those are drones, because it just looks very odd. But I think those are flights coming out of the New York area. But oh man, northwest. This would be more north. Yeah, northwest. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, there was even. Are you up in Hunterdon County? Yeah, I'm in the Hunterdon County area. Yeah, there was even talk about a U-2 spy plane that was flying over Mexico, which I don't know. I'm pretty sure like NASA has a U-2 a plane that they use every once in a while. The last time I saw the U-2 plane fly knowingly was they were using the U-2 to take images of the Appalachian Trail. That was a couple years ago, I believe. But apparently this is I didn't see the data, or I didn't see any pictures of the U-2 plane flying over Mexico, so that's just hearsay right now. But there was rumors of it, so I highly doubt that until I see, like a screenshot or find the flight path. If you pay for Flight Radar 24 and you have a rough idea when that plane flew, you can actually go back in history and watch all the planes flying. So like, I can go back to tonight when I was here and actually see a playback of all the air traffic going over the area, so you can rule things out. But yeah, see, those two were coming at me, and then they started hooking to different areas. I don't know if you guys can see them. I'm reloading the YouTube currently. But those two were coming at me, and then they started going, I don't know which way that is, but all right, well, I'll try and make some more videos. I've been trying to get out to the area where about 2 weeks ago, there was a friend of mine who lives near the reservoir, was telling me that there was a lot of Facebook talk about drones at the reservoir. But I wasn't able to get out there because it was so last minute. I got to get my scanner from my buddy and get that back. I've been trying to get it for months. But everybody's been sick. But I'll try and get out to the reservoir. I might do a walkthrough. There was, back in December, or you just popped back up on my feed. Are you watching out for drones again? I saw something in the sky when I first came out here. It was like an orange something, but by the time I got up here, it was gone. So who knows? I don't know what it was, but I'm just coming out and saying hello and thanking the people who are still following me and just catching up. But the drone stuff has definitely dropped off. I think with Trump dismissing everything, and it's just kind of, on to the next thing. Carlos. Orbs. Yeah, I don't know. I saw a light in the sky. Could have been a plane. Could have been a drone. Could have been a UFO. I don't know. But around here in New Jersey, it's the air traffic's pretty heavy from Newark, JFK. Flying opposite way. I'll check that out. State police shut down. Yeah, there was some talk when we first started seeing the drones and everything was like super hot and heavy. I hear geese. That's weird. There was talks of some unmarked vans, Ford Transit vans that were in the area fueling up, and some of the guys have gotten out and they looked pretty, I guess, law enforcement-esque. I don't know what those kind of people look like, but there was talk of some possibly federales in the area when things were hopping off here pretty heavy. Super close. I have way more videos of that thing up. I'll definitely. Darn it. I gotta remind myself to go into do not disturb mode. I don't know how much battery I have left because I don't have a charger in here. But I might go, it's probably too late, but I might go to some of the areas where, anything. I might go to some of the areas where they said there were some down drones. I think the one by the reservoir, the one night Tim and I were driving around, there was one, but I think that was a toy drone. But there was definitely a lot of activity up near that reservoir. And there was one in Hillsboro that landed outside of a store in the woods. They had hazmat teams and all kinds of stuff. What about going back to that original guy? Who's the original guy? The guy that tracked me down and stopped me the first night when I was out here. I apologize if he's watching. I don't remember his name. Shoot, I forget his name. Jeremy? I don't remember. I could reach out to him and see if he's seen anything or whatever. I don't want to bother the guy. Oh, that you went back to. Yeah. He lives right down the road, but I have his number. I just kind of feel awkward. Carlos, it's like a few days. He had good info. Yeah, he showed me those videos that were back in like June. I want to reach out to him, but head down to Squirrel Lane. I don't know where that is. But the guy that originally stopped, I might send. I have his number. I might message him and see if he's around. But he definitely had some interesting things to say. But yeah, we're going on an hour. I'm gonna pack it up. I got a little bit of a drive, and then see if I see anything else before I leave. It's like, as soon as I shut this thing off, I'll see something. But I'm not seeing anything that I don't think is. See if I've been sick. Yeah, everyone's been sick. I've luckily, knock on wood, or cross my fingers, have not really been sick. Thank God. But the season's not over. Yeah, it's February already. Geez. They're on my shorts. I'll check that out, Carlos. But there was some weird drone stuff coming out of this, like, Bloomfield. Somewhere along the river there, it might have been Weehawken. Somewhere around there was some really weird stuff. A friend of mine sent me a video from the Princeton area that was really strange. Didn't have any noise. It landed behind. It took off. I'll see if I can post it. But this was back when everything was going crazy. You can kind of see like a dark. I don't really have words for it, but there wasn't a helicopter because you would have heard that. It was literally probably like 300-400 yards from him. But his kid went to chase it. It was pretty big. And he left his phone plugged into the car, and then the phone went flying, and we lost it, of course. But I'll see if I can post that. I don't want to post his video. And I have a talk show. Snap Talk. Talk is on the Facebook page, YouTube page. Everyone's still interested in drones, still wondering. The guy that came out with me was Tim. Yeah, his name was Tim. He's a friend of mine. He's a radio operator that I met through some of our local repeaters here. Nice guy. He actually let me borrow a scanner that's at the house because I can't get mine back. And it's not a cheap scanner either. So I know it's not gone, but it's just time and going to get it. Yeah, it's interesting. It bores a lot of people, but it's a good skill to have if you need it. I've talked to people in Japan and Australia, over in Europe, across the country. It's a pretty interesting hobby. A lot of people aren't really into it because of what phones can do today, but it's something that I've always been into, and since I was a kid, we had a CB radio. And a friend of mine, Terry, actually, he's in the hospital today. He's an older gentleman. He is having heart surgery. He gave me my first radio. So hopefully, he called me today before he went in for surgery, and hopefully he's doing okay. And the surgery was successful because it was a pretty major surgery. He got me into radio and gave me my first radio and antenna. And he actually, for years, was trying to get me to take my radio test, my amateur radio test, and I never did until about 4 years ago. But hopefully Terry's doing okay, and been thinking about him a lot. My neighbor down the road was a kid, or when I was a kid, was a trucker, had a CB. I play on it. My name was Brown Eyes. Yeah, that's how I first got into radio, was CB. And then as you get older and it becomes uninteresting and you get into sports and later on into other things, it just kind of fell to the wayside, and I wasn't able to study for my license until COVID happened. So I got it when COVID hit, but I might do some listening around and see what I hear. But back to Art Bell, he was actually a ham, a pretty avid ham radio license guy. Who's this? How you doing?
Good, okay. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just on the phone.
Okay, because I left and you were there. I'm like, oh, let me double check.
No, I appreciate you stopping, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Art Bell, I think it's W6 OBB, the ham radio. It's not that bad. I'm not the most technical person in the world, so you have to get your technician license and then your general license if you want to get higher. But they have applications, ham study. Let me try to think. Oh man, that's good. Good, yeah. There's good people. I'm pretty sure they're probably wondering what the hell I'm doing, but it's nice to have people stop. Hamstudy.org. There's an application that I paid for. That's a good one. And then hamradioprep.com was a big one to help me out. There's a lot of visuals and a lot of videos to explain things on the test to you. It wasn't that bad. Some of the stuff you might look at it and be like, what the heck is this? But I learn more by doing. I understood some of it, but there's a lot of stuff that went over my head, and I just remembered the questions. I think it's like a 50 question pool, and I just remembered the questions until I was passing with like 85 or 90%, and went and took the test and passed. The general is a little bit more involved. That's more for your high frequency stuff. That is like talking around the world. You can talk to, I've talked to people in Japan, Australia, Europe, on the West Coast, There's a lot of YouTubers that are just strictly ham radio stuff, but check that out. You can, in your area, you can search up ham radio clubs. They're always willing to help. They're actually pretty friendly people, and they're always willing to give a hand to help people get licensed and stuff. I'm not trying to sell anything, but if you're interested in it. What are those number stations? The number stations, I've heard a few. Some of them are supposed spy stations, giving out codes. The U.S. has a few stations that I can't remember the frequencies or what they're called, but it's like communicating to airplanes and drills and what's this? Sorry. A lot of people say they're spy stations and then like giving like directives to assets all over the world and stuff, but you can hear them every now and then. If you go on to Kiwi SDR, KIWI SDR, you can scan. Other people around the country have these radio receivers. They're called software-defined radios, and they're receiving, and you can actually go onto those SDRs and tune around. You just have to figure out, I don't know the best way to tell you what frequencies to listen to, but 40 meters, 20 meters are pretty active for like ham radio stuff. Kiwi SDR, yep. And you can listen to all kinds of stuff all over the world. They have them, so you can tune around. It's kind of hard to understand what it is if you don't know what you're looking at, but I think you'll figure it out. But I got to cut this short and start traveling back, and maybe I'll do some radio stuff and some other things. But here comes another person.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Get out of here before the cops show up. But yeah, check out Ham Radio Crash Course. His name's Josh. He has a lot of good information on his channel. He's an engineer and he explains things very well. Hey, look, it's the that'd be crazy if it was like a black triangle, huh? But yeah, Ham Radio Crash Course, Google ham radio stuff, and I'm sure you'll find something on there. But it was nice chatting with everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. And I'll try and get back on here or make some more videos. Have a good night. Let it be a UFO, yeah, right? I'd only be so lucky. All right, have a good night, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.